On his way out, President Joe Biden, with only a few weeks left as president of the United States, has decided to do corporations a huge favor by essentially giving them a get out of jail free card by letting them self-report and self-investigate. I'm not kidding. Okay, so excellent reporting by The Lever. Rick Claypool in particular wrote this piece, and here's what you need to know. On Friday, November 22nd, the Justice Department announced that those that make good faith efforts to self-report, even if they do not qualify for a full prosecution shield, could still receive substantial benefits. In other words, the new policy expands what qualifies as voluntary self-disclosure of misconduct by said corporations. Now, such disclosures, which can help companies avoid prosecution, include good faith efforts to report wrongdoing rather than only rewarding proactive efforts to come clean before federal charges appear unavoidable. So companies would, in fact, as a result of this, be eligible even if they have committed multiple crimes, earned significant profit from their wrongdoing, and failed to self-disclose the misconduct, as long as the companies demonstrate they acted in good faith to try to come clean. So Rick Claypool is a corporate crime expert at Public Citizen. He did not write this piece. Sorry, The Lever wrote this piece. But The Lever did quote him where he says, they're really bending over backward to protect corporations. However, corporate compliance consultant Matt Kelly argues that this new policy is meant to make up for potential limitations during the Trump administration. Here's what he tells The Lever, quote, I appreciate the urge for more prosecution of corporate crime and more serious punishments. But the reality is that the department doesn't have the resources to pursue that enforcement. It doesn't now, and it certainly won't under the Trump administration. These latest policy changes are meant to tilt that calculus toward a company doing the right thing by making that right thing more palatable. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Nonsense.
This is, first of all, I love the admission here by Matt Kelly. You know, he's like, look, we don't even have the resources now under a Democratic administration to pursue corporate crime. And we're not expecting that to change under Trump. So look, when you hear about the uni-party, this is what people are talking about, okay? Because what's the excuse for Biden? What's the excuse for the Democrats, right? The first 2 years of the Biden administration, they had a majority in Congress. So what is the excuse? Why weren't there any resources dedicated to pursuing criminal prosecution of corporations that screw over the American people? It's just such a dumb excuse to like basically loosen regulations even further on Biden's way out and justify it with, well, you know, we're worried about Trump. No, the American people should have been worried about the Biden administration doing favors for corporations, because clearly that's what's going on here.
Yep. So two things. Who's going to take advantage of this new opportunity to turn yourself in? This is really important, guys. It is not going to be people who are doing something wrong but haven't been caught at all. They're not going to go in and voluntarily go to the feds and go, oh yeah, you never caught us, you weren't even close to catching us, but we were ripping you off for billions of dollars. So here's us self-reporting. There's a 0% chance that any of them are going to do that. No, this is for people who are largely already under investigation. And people we know, corporations we know, had done terrible things. So this is what Biden administration is saying is, hey guys, if you act now, you just confess like a tiny fraction of what you've done, you pay a tiny fine, and you'll get to keep most of your ill-gotten proceeds. It's a giant giveaway, not just to corporations, but to the most criminal corporations. And don't worry, none of your executives will go to jail. Of course not. White collar criminals are to be feted and celebrated, and then of course asked for donations. So,
Cenk, it gets, sorry to interrupt, I have to get this out because it's important. The best part about all of this is that the woman who wrote this Justice Department announcement is named Nicole Arengentiere. And she's a former corporate lawyer. She oversaw the Justice Department's recent plea deal with Boeing. And thanks to said plea deal, Boeing's top officials at the time of the two devastating 737 MAX crashes will avoid jail time. Like, you have a corporate lawyer getting involved in putting out this announcement, essentially loosening regulations, or I guess prosecution toward criminal wrongdoing of these corporations. It's amazing. Go ahead.
So when I was reading that Lever piece, I was like, oh, she's a top level white collar criminal defendant lawyer, right?
Yep.
And she flipped over to the Justice Department, and I thought for half a second naively, oh, maybe she could use her expertise to go get these white collar criminals. And then as I read on, I was like, oh, knucklehead. Of course, the real answer is she came over to the Justice Department to make sure that all of her former clients got off, and every future client got off, and everybody got off, so that when she goes back to her law firm, which is one of the top law firms in the country, they're all gonna hire her and say, oh my God, she might go back into the government and give us all get out of jail free cards. So she's gonna make a killing by making sure that those corporate criminals were never caught, never prosecuted, etc. And then that leads to the second point I wanted to make. Why did Bill Clinton do the same thing on his way out? Why is Joe Biden doing this on his way out? It's because everyone in the Biden administration and in the Clinton administration are about to go ask for jobs from all of those same law firms, lobbyists, consultants, and the corporations themselves.
Sick.
So that's exactly why they give the House away right before they leave as kind of a proof of concept. Look at how much I delivered for you as a crook when I was inside the government. So now I'll deliver for you when I'm inside your company. And don't worry, if the Democrats win, we'll go back into power and we'll get to, get you out of jail again. And you could rob and rob and rob to your heart's delight, right? And if you think the Republicans are any better, okay, so Donald Trump is not gonna go after these guys. That would be shocking. He never goes after white collar crime. In fact, he pardons white collar criminals on a regular basis. And of course, remember, one of the leaders of the Republicans is Rick Scott, who committed the largest Medicare fraud in American history. Got a $300 million thank you package for that, stolen from the American people. And the Republicans celebrated him. And what did they do? The Justice Department said, oh, that company was horrible, and they convicted him of those crimes. They did. But they convicted none of the executives who actually did the crimes. And they pretended that the corporation is punished, which means absolutely nothing. All they do is give back some percentage of the money that they stole from us. And no one goes to jail under Republicans or Democrats, because as Anna pointed out, this is how the uni-party robs you blind.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.